So is real estate even worth getting into if you're thinking about it?
When the hell was the good market? There never was a good market, right? Here's the 4 lies right now, and see if you agree with these.
So is real estate even worth getting into if you're thinking about it? And that's an email question or a DM question that we got from one of our multiple, like millions of listeners sent us that question. Eric could have been my mom prompted when I sent her a text. But anyways, we got that question. And honestly, it's a really good question. It makes you stop and think. I've got my opinion, but Wayne, what's yours, man?
I mean, I would say welcome to the best hard market you will ever get. And I think we need to break it down because this can be the worst market or this can be the market maker. So I think that we need to talk about some of the realities and what you need to do to actually thrive through this thing or get washed out. Because one of those two things is going to happen, right? You're either going to thrive through this or wash out. But I think the question people have to ask themselves is if nothing changed in the market for the next 2 years, if your market conditions didn't change, would you thrive or would you slowly die? And most people are slowly dying, waiting for change.
Well, yeah, I also think that if you have the right skill set, knowledge, database, mentor, because you may not have any of those and you've got to get one. You may not have the database, you may not have the knowledge, but you can get a mentor or a leader or whatever. It doesn't matter what the market is. And I know that might sound pretentious, like I'm sitting on some mountain and going, oh, everybody can do it. But y'all, if you're doing real estate and it is variable on the market conditions, then I don't think you're doing it right. And I mean, that's something I get debated on sometimes. It's like, well, it's a different market. Not as many people are buying. Okay. Well, if I have a core business of people I know, like, and trust, and that know, like, and trust me, whether I've sold a house or not, I have opportunity. Because I don't think, and Wayne, you're older than I am. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think anybody.
I love how you just threw that in there. Yes, absolutely. Yes, yeah. I am wiser. Perfect. Let's
sure.
go.
Has there ever been a year that a house was not sold ever, like anywhere?
Here's what I want to know. When the hell was the good market? Like agents be talking about, like, I can't wait until we go back to we've been doing this for a long time. There never was a good market, right? In a sense, like there's always a challenge, but here's the 4 lies right now and see if you agree with these, right now. First lie is there's no deals. There are enough deals for any of you to hit your goal in your market. I guarantee you, pull the stats, and there are. Number 2, clients don't want to move right now. I'm not saying everybody wants to move, but there's a whole lot of people that have to move. Divorce, having babies, relocating, inheriting houses, right? Something going on, right? There are people that are not loving moving right now, maybe, but there's always people that have to move, right? There's always, motivation to be had out there, right? Number 3 is I'm just going to wait this out. You're going to be waiting a long time. You can be waiting a long time because you didn't do what we're going to walk you through that you need to do. And then the last one is, and this is Brad's favorite, dude, I'm doing everything I can. I'm already doing it all, bro. Like I put in 10 minutes on Instagram yesterday. Like I'm already doing all the work. I think those are the 4 lies.
Well, here's the hard truth. And this is probably why some people don't want to work with my company. And I'm not like this to my agents, but at the same time, like if you're doing everything you can, you're not doing enough. Like it's not a hard thing. It's not a magic pill. There's not, and I'm not here to dissuade anybody, but like, if you don't have that mindset that I either complete my mission, my goal, or I die, then you will not ever have a self-sustaining, that's the big part there, business. You can have a business, but you will not have a self-sustaining business. And I just pulled up our non-official sponsor of our podcast, Perplexity AI, non-official. They have not agreed to that, but 4 million houses sold this last year, right? So, I mean, chop it up by 12s and you got some math, but so no. And that's the thing. Like you have to come here with enough grit and enough determination that you don't give a shit what anything is happening or doing. Yes.
And this is separation season. Like it's easier for agents to stand out now than almost ever because there's a lot of agents that are running around believing in those 4 things and they're giving off that vibe. They're giving off that energy. Like I wouldn't want to work with you if that's the energy you're bringing to the table, if you're believing those 4 lies. So, but here's the 4 things people got to do right now. And if I was going to break it into 4, just so you have the framework, it's decide, diagnose, double down, and differentiate. right? So the first thing is you got to decide. First off, like Brad's saying, you got to decide you're going to win, and you got to decide who you're going to be in this market, right? Am I going to be a survivor, or am I going to be a thriver, or am I going to be a victim, right? Am I going to be someone that figures out or whatever, right? So first you got to decide for you, right? Like I'm deciding that I'm going all in. The second is you got to diagnose. And that's what you're saying, Brad. Like get honest with yourself. If what you're doing isn't working, you need to do something different, or you need to do a lot more of it, right? People right now, it's like, hey, you got to talk to 100 people to get a deal, right? Maybe it's 150. I don't know, but go talk to 150 people. If you want 4 deals in a month, you better talk to 150 people a week, right? So like diagnose with real numbers instead of feelings. The way too many people like, I feel this. Like stop it. Go through your week,
Did you say
look
numbers?
at every hour, you spent the last 7 days and go, in the last 7 days or by hour, how much of that time was lead generation that I was out there hunting for business? Because if you got 2 deals in the pipeline, you need to be spending 62 hours a week lead generating, hunting for deals, right? And not taking care of that one deal you got going on.
Did you say numbers, by the way? You said numbers.
I did. I
think
think
a 4-letter
I said that.
word in the real estate religion.
Yeah. Look at my calendar, review numbers,
so
see what's working.
Little practical tip on that. And I've mentioned this in some other videos we've done, but like I'm actually getting ready to have my agents go through this themselves. I have my calendar in Gmail, and you can color code stuff and name it. And what it'll do on the left-hand side is tell you what percentage of your working week, which you set 8 to 5, 9 to 5, mine's 8 to 6, what I'm doing, right? How much time you're spending on whatever. And what I'm finding, because every Monday I have a meeting with my agents, team meeting with my newer agents. And I'm like, what are you doing this week that you can point to in your calendar that will bring you an agency, buyer or listing agreement, right? They have great things. Hey, I'm going to go work on a Canva buyer guide. Cool. If you don't have a fucking buyer, what's the matter? So I would encourage people to do this, because I'm actually, like I said, I'm going to have my agents do this. And I think it's visually going to show them that it's not there. It's going to be green, and the green's got to be, I just think that's
painful.
The numbers. And I think that's where people get off easy. And I think that's where we let each other off easy. It was a hard week, Brad. The government's been shut down, Wayne, by God. And I did a USDA deal, and they can't fund. You know what wouldn't fucking matter, Wayne? If I had 5 other deals.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Yes. So audit it. Look at like how much time did I actually spend not in actual lead generation. And lead generation isn't research. You need to do that. That's not lead generation, right? Lead generation isn't walking through, checking out empty house. Like all that showing buyers is not lead generation. That's good. That's part of your job, but that's not creating new business. How much of your time was actually lead generating, creating new business, not just maintaining, but creating new business? And then when you find out, like when you decide on the 2 or 3 things you're going to do, you better double down hard on those, right? Whether it's database, Instagram, whatever it is, you better find your 2 or 3 things and go real hard on those 2 or 3. And then the last thing is like, I think some people need to niche down a little bit right now, right? It'll hone your voice. It'll hone your power. Like niche into like, are you helping people downsize? Are you helping people, flip, people that are flipping? Are you helping investors? Are you helping people upside? Like whatever it is, like you better niche a little bit so that you can kind of create your signature offer and go, I help these people do this, and go real hard in that message.
Yeah, the practical part I'd like to bring, because it's just how we work, right? Like I'm more in the practical trenches with actual agents, and you're seeing it from all across the country in the philosophical view, and you're not wrong. My practical view on this is look at like we already talked about the calendar, but I think one thing that people make a mistake of, they confuse active prospecting. They don't confuse it. They commingle active prospecting and passive. So they say, hey, I have 2 hours to prospect today. But during those 2 hours, they're researching. They're trying to find people to call. They're trying to find, they're trying to see in their database who they should reach out to. And guys, that's 2 separate. And I would argue that if you took the first hour, still have 2, but the first hour is research, list, get your water, charge your headphones, get your lighting right. And the second hour, you just plow. Just get through your calls. You will be 3 times as successful. And here's a good example. On my insurance side, and I might have mentioned this on one of the previous ones. We just did this. So I own an insurance company, and I've got producers over there, and we're trying to get cross sales, right? So we've got their home, we're trying to get their auto, vice versa. And they're having a little bit of issue with it. So I was like, I tell you what, book a time, 5 to 6 p.m. last Wednesday. Give me a list of 40 people. I'm going to do it. And guess what? In 1 hour, I made 15 calls. I had 6 live conversations, and I have 4 cross sales. They didn't care. They weren't mad. They weren't upset. But guess what? If I didn't have that list in front of me, so I could just go pow, 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 and set myself up for success because of the time that I actually set aside. So many people are calling people at 11 o'clock or trying to prospect at 10:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. Bro, people are busy, and you want to sell people houses. They usually have jobs. So again, I think that's the niche part. And the last thing, the thing with niche I want to add on to that is the NAR numbers just came out that you and I usually go over. The median age for a first-time home buyer, you might have seen this on socials because everybody's posting it. Do you see what it is? It's 40.
I thought it was even higher, but yeah.
40 is the median age of first-time home buyers. 66 is the average, I believe, for repeat buyers.
Okay, that was the number that I saw. Yeah, so that's the differentiator. Yeah.
So I'm 42. You're 45, right? Just turned 45.
44. Hold on. Let's one day at a time.
Horrible friend. I'm sorry. I did call you. You didn't call me back, by the way. So all that to be said, just want brownie points. I did call.
You did. Good job. Thank you.
Niche, right? If I'm you, you're me. Yeah. I'm going to be doing everything I can towards my demographic of 40-something-year-olds.
Well, and here's the challenge. Let's say you're 25 and the average first-time home buyer is 40, right? Here's one of the ways you break through that. You should go, I'm the best at blank, right? You try to be everything to everybody in your 25, you're going to get washed out. But you go like, hey, there's nobody better at finding flip properties than me. Or like, hey, you want to downsize? I am the king at that because I do this every single day. This is what my focus is. You want to help people buy apartment buildings. But like, if you're 25 and your average person is 40, 50, you better go become a specialist in something. So to earn the respect of those people and they know who to call you when. But if you try to be a generalist at 25, I think you're going to get your teeth kicked in.
Hey, really quick, you know how YouTube works. Like and subscribe so we know this is working and it keeps pushing the content out.
Yeah, this is what we do as a passion project. Wayne's got his own coaching, I got my real estate, but we've come together because we want y'all to learn from all our scars and mistakes. So that like and subscribe means the world to us because it means you care and it means we can keep giving, and also it makes us look cool with my mom.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think the 4 points that you made are awesome. I mean, I think they're right on. But how does somebody double down? Right? I mean, when they think they're already doing enough, like, do you have any like coaching wisdom to help somebody just grab their bootstraps and plow through it and grit their teeth? Like, because I mean, I think people do get a little disheveled. Like I am, like they think they're trying, and it's hard to tell somebody try double as hard.
Yeah, and I think that like the first question I would ask would be like, how effective and efficient are you? Meaning, it's one thing. Effective is like, doing the right thing. Efficient is doing it in the right way. There's a lot of people doing the right thing in the wrong way. And a lot of people are doing, the wrong thing, but they're doing it really, really well. So I think it's looking at those things first off, and really auditing your time, going, where am I being effective and efficient? Same thing, like when you're talking about time lead generation, here's the thing. You better have let's say you're making calls, you better have your list ready the night before. So you get in the office, right? The first hour or two is active making calls, right? Then for me, like what I realized is I needed to make calls, but if I was trying to take care of the call while I was making the calls, I would get distracted, not make any more calls. So somebody goes, oh yeah, we would love a CMA in our house. I'd be like, awesome. I would switch gears and start making a CMA, right? I had to stop that. It was lead generation. If they wanted a CMA, I would make a note of that and I would keep calling. This person wanted a list of homes on the market. Cool. I'd make a note of that. I'd keep calling. So that hour and a half or 2 hours of lead generation was like, if I wasn't dialing, ringing, or talking, I wasn't actually doing it. Right. And then I had an hour and a half of cleanup. Right. And I found for me, I got way more done when it was like an hour and a half of this. And that's all I'm doing. And then I moved into cleanup. Then I would move into follow up with people that I had touched base in the past. So like treating those like 3 separate bunkered activities was really, really helpful for me because I'd make one phone call. I'd be like, oh, we'd like a CMA. I'd get lost in updating my database, making a CMA. All of a sudden it's lunchtime. Right. And I felt like I lead generated for 3 hours. But to your point, it's like, bro, you lead generated for like how long was that call? Okay, 3.5 minutes. That was your lead generation time in 3 hours. Like, yeah, it's going to be brutal.
Well, a little practical with that, and depends what state you're in. So you gotta. I want to preface that, but we're in a 1-person recording state, right? So as long as one person to the conversation knows it's being recorded, we're allowed to do it, which is usually the person recording it. Right. Another unofficial sponsor, Plod, right? You got little Plod AI recorders. Put your phone on speaker, let AI listen, and guess what Plod will do? It'll go through it and pull out the task. So hang up, keep going. Hey, I'm calling Susie Smith. Ring, ring, ring. Have the conversation. Cool, Susie. So when I get off of here, within the next day, I'm going to send you a CMA. Plod goes in there, pulls it all out, and then now you have your task. And if you have a
Absolutely.
VA, if you talk with Wayne and get some VAs, my VA will take those plods and then tell whoever, if it's a staff person, what to do and how to do it. So
hell, you might not even, that would be awesome. If you might just have your VA on Zoom listening to the conversation, and they're in the database, they're doing stuff as you're doing it, right? It would be worth it for you to pay someone just to listen, take all the notes and do all the things while you just plow through for 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then they say, hey, here's the 3 things that actually you need to do. I did everything else. I mean, that would be so valuable. I think and I'm guilty of it. People don't understand what it's like to actually lead generate for 2 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Actually lead generate for 2 or 4 hours every day. You will not have a problem. We're spending too much time in the weeds.
My question is, have you ever heard of somebody lead generating for 2 to 3 hours and they're still broke?
Oh, dude, that's such a good question. No, I haven't.
No.
No.
It's like going to a bar and to pick up somebody. If you stay long enough, you're going to find somebody.
Somebody's going to say yes. Somebody's going to say yes eventually. Yeah. Yep.
All right. Yep. So we're getting all, I know we're talking about like the best, hardest market you've ever been in, but so let's talk about lead gen. Let's just dive into that. And for people listening, we don't have a script. We're just talking about this content. What would you recommend somebody for lead gen? Like if they're like, well, I don't know what to do or who to call.
I would say, hey, I would pick here's the thing. I would use something like Ask the Public, which is a website you can go to and go, hey, what are buyers asking the internet right now? What are sellers asking the internet right now? I would take the top 5 or 6 questions and I would make 10 videos about each one of those questions. Whichever one of those 2 or 3 take off, I would do 10 or 15 more blog post content videos. I'd go hard on those. So I would be trying to solve the problems that our clients are actually having. Now, what we think they're having, what they self-identify as their challenges, right? How do I buy a house when federal funding is on halt? How do I do this when this, like whatever the questions are that are being asked, I would head on tackle those right now. And I would go really, really hard on social media, and blogs and everything else. While a lot of other agents are being quiet, I would go really, really hard.
I agree with you. I have one differing opinion on that. I think you just gave people an out to do something very passive.
There you go.
But our unofficial sponsor, Perplexity, I just asked it, right? What are the top questions home buyers are asking right now, November 2025? Is now a good time to buy a house? How much house can I afford with today's rates and what should my budget be? Careful with that one. Will mortgage rates drop soon or should I wait? Can I negotiate the price and how much should I offer on a house? What are the current housing market trends? What type of home and neighborhood are best for me? Which mortgage program is right for me right now? How much do I need for a down payment? Guys, it's the same damn questions every single time. But if you just changed the tune to be in tune with today about the shutdown, about interest rates, I would also say,
yeah, no, keep going.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to use social media, because I have a love-hate. I mean, obviously we do social media, but I have a love-hate for agents doing it because they think that by doing something on social media, it's active prospecting. But I feel like it's no different than driving down the road and throwing business cards at people walking. Like hopefully they're going to pick it up and call you, but that's probably not going to happen. So I would say, how can you DM people? How can you get creative? How can you start a Facebook group, like move to mycity.com? Group, and you already have 5 of those, but people will come to yours. Let them ask questions, let them do things, and then you can DM them on the side. That's a little more active, and I would push for my agents to do.
Well, and here's 2 other things, because I think you're correct in that. I think the passive lead generation is the videos and everything else. I think the active lead generation is you better get 300 people in your database right now, and you better call all of them and go, hey, everybody I know has questions about real estate right now. I just wanted to check in with you and see if you have any questions about the market, because it has been a very rapid changing market. I just want to see if you need anything. Like I would get 300 people in your database and call and ask each one of them, do you have any questions? Do you need any help?
Yeah. Yes. And so how do we get 300 people, right? Well, that's going to be a minute. But
yeah, here's what I would do. Think about this. First, who's in your phone? Go through our contacts. Who are you giving money to? Dentist, doctor, chiropractor, your kid's soccer coach. All those people should be in
But those are professionals, Wayne. Those are professionals.
Absolutely.
I'm just a real estate agent.
So are you. Right. Guess what professionals do? Use money to buy shit. They're great. right? Then I would go through my socials and go like, hey, who am I following? Who's following me that needs to be my actual, in my offline database, not just my online database, right? In my CRM. And then I would go to vendors and I would go like, hey, who are the 30 people that a buyer or seller might interact with before they call an agent? And I want to go find 30 people. Hey, Brad, I'm an agent. I got a lot of people that are always looking to get their carpet fixed. I was just curious if you're taking on more clients. Brad goes, hell yeah, I am. I'm like, awesome. Tell me a little bit more about your carpet business. Cool. I'm going to add him to my database. I'm going to ask him about his goals. And by the way, I'm going to ask Brad, hey, who do you know that's great in trades? He's going to go, well, Dale's a really good cider. Cool. I'm calling Dale. Right. So, and I'm just going from there. 300 is a minimum. If you don't have 300 people in your database, like you should probably just quit. If you can't get 300 people in your database before Christmas, like, fire yourself. Go work at Wendy's.
Yeah. And you can get people in your database by buying them. You can buy leads. Like if you have the money, you can do that. I think one of the things I would recommend right now is if you're in the business and you're in your local market, people that own houses, give them a CMA. And I know that sounds very basic, but you can use it under disguise. I don't want to call it lying, but I would call it a disguise. And I would say, hey, I'm 25, right? I'm 22 again when I got in the business. Hey, Mr. Cooper, it's Brad. I'd love, whatever, growing up with your kid. It's that time of year where I love to give everybody I know a free CMA because it's your biggest investment. When's the last time you found out what the actual price was? So I'm going to send it to you with a little letter. Just let me know what you think when you get it. So you called them, you send it, and then you call them like a week or two, or maybe the first of the year. And you say, hey, what did you think about that number? Was that right on what you're thinking? Do you think your house is worth more? I'm just kind of curious. Now you've got conversation. You're not trying to get them to sell it, but you got them thinking. You got conversations. That's active. Okay. And by the way, do you know anybody else I should do a CMA for while I'm doing it? Because I've already got my stuff together. I've already got my pens out. I've got my highlighter in my hand. Like, who else should I do one for? My son's been talking about selling his house. And then off we go. Right? I don't understand. So let's wrap this one up. This best, hardest market, right? I want to take it full circle. I don't think 21, 22 were the best markets I've ever been in. Like at all. By far. They were horrible.
They were a gong show.
They were so bad. I also don't think the recession was the best market. But what was the best market? 2015. Seriously, it's when stuff started coming out. Recession was done. People were buying again. But it's because we put in so much effort in the recession, like the conversations, the connections, giving people time. So that's the long play that most people need to get to. And that's if you're debating real estate right now, you're debating getting out. You just got to realize that you're playing the long game, and you need to play for 3 years to 5 years, and just get what you can. But roll your sleeves up, get to work. If not, go get an hourly job. And I want you to encourage people with that.
And to make it even simpler, like ask people if they need your help. Like figure out what people need help with and ask them if they need your help. And if they do, cool. If they don't, go to the next person. Like, hey, people are struggling with funding right now. Hey, they're trying to figure out how much they should list their house. Like, can I help you? Cool. If they need help, like just go offer value and help. And you just got to do it to a whole lot more people.
I had a therapy appointment the other day, and my therapist had a really good analogy that he shared with me. And he said he got it from somebody else. So it's not his, but he's like, every day you wake up with a pitcher of water, and you got to pour it out. Like, where are you pouring it? Are you pouring in your business? Are you pouring in your family? Are you pouring it? Are you pouring it all in your business and your family's dehydrated, right? So it's just a mental, are you pouring that in your golf game? Are you pouring that into laundry? Or are you pouring that into calling? Are you pouring that into networking? Where are you pouring this water? And I think if you can track that through your calendar, through your actions, you'll realize where the water's going. And it's probably not going to the things that are bringing you the fruits of your labor.
Yeah. I love it.
Hey, real quick, if you're liking this content, imagine having a full day immersed with people that are on this, like us, that are learning from each other.
Man, we do these kind of events, these intensive, a couple times a year. And if you know that you are the smartest person in the room and you need to get in some other rooms, this is the place to be, right? So apply, send us a message right now. We'll send you the application link and see if you are the right fit to be in one of the rooms.